In this video, I am going to discuss my 3-day trip. In June 2021, I explored the northern edge of the Allegheny National Forest, saw beautiful scenic overlooks and waterfalls, walked through the town of Kane, Pennsylvania, took a dizzying walk across the Kinzu Viaduct, drove along Route 6, took in scenic views at Sinnemahoning State Park, and finally relaxed at Seiserville State Park. I spent 2 nights on the road. My first night was spent at the Kane Manor Inn. On my second leg of the trip, I spent it at the rustic Creekside Inn. Both my lodging choices were complete opposites, but both were very lovely in their own way. I left my home early in the morning to start my trip. I started with a full tank of gas and half a box of Pop-Tarts. Hector Falls was first on my itinerary. Located 2 miles from the town of Ludlow, Pennsylvania, Hector Falls is a unique waterfall. It has an unusual geological formation for a waterfall. Water falls off 3 sides of the rock. Hector Falls reminds me of a cube. Getting to the falls requires an awesome sense of direction since it's off the beaten path. The parking area is located along a well-maintained dirt road. I had no problem navigating this road in my front-wheel drive Chevy Cruze. Proceed with caution as the road is riddled with potholes and can be slick after a rainfall. Most of the year, this road can be accessed in any vehicle. However, winter may be a different story. Use your judgment. A small parking area with the letters HF painted on a tree will be on your left-hand side. Do not block the gate. Walk around the gate down a former forest road for almost 1 mile. There is a slight descent into the gorge. At one time, this area was open to logging. This clearing is where the forest was logged. Hikers will arrive at a fork in the trail. Stay to your left. Continue walking until you come to a clearing. Just 2 o'clock of the oil well spout, there is a trail. This trail will lead you to the falls. Hike through evergreens and enjoy the peaceful sound of water. Use caution, for this section of the trail is muddy. Watch out for exposed roots and rocks. The boulders here at Hector Falls rival the ones at McConnell's Mill State Park. Water plunges 22 feet off Hector Falls. An overcast morning was a welcome sight when I visited these falls. As a photographer, I prefer cloudy skies when photographing scenes in the woods due to the sun casting harsh shadows. Most people prefer to hike on a sunny day, and there is nothing wrong with that. I prefer cloudy skies so the subject I am photographing is not covered in shadows. After exploring the serene area, it was time to head back to my car and continue on the next leg of my adventure. I left Hector Falls and my next stop was Jake's Rocks recreational area. The skies darkened as I was entering the area. A line of storms in the wake of a cold front was approaching my location. Since I document storms, I drove to the roadside overlook and observed the storms. Heavy rain and winds plummeted my car. Jake's Rocks is a popular destination for picnics and mountain bikes. Giant boulders and mountain laurels line the trails. One can see breathtaking views of the Kinsey Reservoir from all 4 overlooks. One overlook requires a short hike, and the other 3 are located along the road. The overlook I stopped at provides a bird's-eye view of Kinzua Dam. The skies cleared and I was off to Kinzua Dam. Constructed in 1965, Kinzua Dam is located along Route 59 in Warren County. The 27-mile-long, 130-foot-deep Allegheny Reservoir offers a plethora of outdoor recreation. It straddles the border of Pennsylvania and New York. Fishing, boating, swimming, camping, and hiking are the many activities one can enjoy at the Allegheny Reservoir. Forest surrounds the area. Kinzu Dam not only tames the Allegheny River but provides hydroelectric power as well. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers maintains Kinzu Dam. A series of locks and dams were built along the Allegheny River for flood control after the 1936 St. Patrick's Day flood. Torrential rains, along with heavy snowmelt, caused rivers and streams to become swollen. Downtown Pittsburgh and surrounding communities were underwater. 2 decades later, Congress gave the Army Corps of Engineers the go-ahead to build Kinzu Dam. Kinzu Dam has a controversial history. Unfortunately, the Seneca Nation of Indians lost their land due to the construction of the dam. Towns and villages were burned in order to clear land for construction. 600 people were forced to relocate. 10,000 acres and several villages were inundated as the water backed up. The dam, however, paid for itself when torrential rains from the remnants of Hurricane Agnes swept through the area in 1972. 6 to 10 inches of rain fell in northwest PA. Kinzua Dam prevented $1 billion in damage along the communities on the Allegheny River. Bent Run Falls is located a quarter-mile from Kinzua Dam. A trail ascends the hillside. Seeing the water cascading over the rocks is a lovely sight. I didn't climb all the way down to the falls, for it had rained a couple hours before. I didn't want to risk slipping and falling. I still managed to get a glimpse of the falls. It wasn't a wasted trip. Kinzu Beach is located across the reservoir from the marina. I am not sure if this area was open because I was the only one there. I am going to assume the morning rain kept people away. However, I didn't see any sign stating the beach was closed. The beach is 450 feet and consists of sand and pea gravel. An area is roped off for swimming. Maximum depth of the roped off area is 8 feet deep. Up on the hill is a bathhouse and concession stand. It was closed the day I visited. There are no lifeguards on duty, so it's swim at your own risk. Beautiful views of the Route 59 bridge and surrounding mountains can be viewed from the beach. The trailhead for the Rimrock Overlook and hiking trail is located at the beach. I chose to drive to Rimrock Overlook. This scenic overlook is located in McKean County on the northern edge of the Allegheny National Forest. Visitors are treated to a panoramic view of the Allegheny Reservoir and the surrounding mountains. Drive down Forest Road for 2.5 miles until you come to the parking area. The road ends here. Picnic tables are scattered about the area. From the parking lot, it is a short hike to the overlook. Hike through second-growth forest and past boulders until you come to a set of steps. When you reach the overlook, there are 2 large stone viewing areas where you can take in the view. A narrow staircase meanders through the rock. Use caution as the steps are uneven. There is a handrail to help you in navigating these steps. The staircase through the cliff is a unique feature. At the bottom of the steps, I admired the cliff. Visitors may be lucky and see a hawk or soaring eagle. Use caution while visiting Rimrock and utilize the handrails. Here is a dizzying view looking up the cliff. Here is another awesome view of the cliff. I just know this area is breathtaking in October. One day I would like to make the drive up and see the flaming fall foliage. It was getting late and I was getting tired. I still had to make the 40-minute drive to Kane, PA, where I was going to spend the night. But first, I had to check out this historic Powerhouse Exhibit along Route 321. Northwest PA experienced an oil boom in the late 1800s. These pumping jacks powered oil wells throughout the area. A similar display can be viewed at Moraine State Park in Butler County. Once a month during the summer, volunteers from 3MJC are on hand at the exhibit at Moraine State Park to answer any questions. Visitors can see the exhibit in operation. I don't think this display is operating, however, it is still neat to see remnants of the industrial past. Kane is a town in McKean County, PA on the Allegheny Plateau. General Thomas Kane, a Civil War general with the Bucktail Regiment, founded the town in 1863. Kane is known as the Black Cherry capital of the world. Winter brings around 105 inches of snow a year. Chilly temperatures gives Kane the honor of being the icebox of PA. Beautiful architecture adorns the streets. Unique eateries and shops line Fraley Street. Now there's something you don't see every day, a Radio Shack still in operation. This red brick home was the convent for St. Callistus Roman Catholic Church. Here is a look at the church. Walking around Kane is like stepping back in time. Here is another glimpse of the business district. Here's a building with a sign painted on the side of it. After a day of exploring the sites of the Allegheny National Forest, I was ready to check in at the Kane Manor Inn. Built in 1896, the Kane Manor Inn is a beautiful bed and breakfast. It is on the National Register of Historic Places. Guests will experience the opulence of the Gilded Age. Little has changed of the floor plan since 1896. Also known as Anatok, meaning wind love spot, this mansion was built for Dr. Elizabeth Kane. She was one of the first women from Pennsylvania to attend medical school. Dr. Elizabeth Kane was the widow of General Thomas Kane. Hosts Ben and Deborah are very accommodating and they take pride in their property. In 2022, they plan to have hike and kayak rentals and tours. Amenities at the inn include a complimentary breakfast, cable TV, and high-speed internet. Nearby are trails for hiking, snowmobiling, and cross-country skiing. Paranormal activity has thought to have been experienced at the inn. However, I didn't experience anything that went bump in the night. I enjoyed all aspects of my stay. My room was the sunset room. I loved the layout of my room and felt secure and safe. My bathroom was blue and had towel on the floor. There are no power outlets in the bathroom, but that wasn't an issue for me. Fireplaces are located throughout the manor. My room had a gorgeous fireplace and a comfortable bed. Visitors can relax in the parlor and read books on hand. Columns adorn the portico. There is no air conditioning in the rooms. A huge fan along with the windows opened offered comfort. I love places that have keys instead of those key cards. Those key cards never seem to work. This place has lots of quirks and charms that one won't find in chain lodging. Here is one of the dining rooms located at the Kane Manor Inn. After a scrumptious breakfast, I was off to Kinzu Bridge State Park. Kinzu Bridge State Park is a 339-acre park located in McKean County, PA. A state-of-the-art visitor center opened in 2016. Park rangers are on hand to answer questions. Interactive displays allow visitors to learn the history of the viaduct and the nature and wildlife that surrounds it. The visitor center features a gift shop where one can bring home souvenirs from the location of the tracks across the sky. Constructed in 1882, Kinzu Bridge was the 8th wonder of the world. It held the record of tallest railroad bridge for 2 years. Instead of laying track along the rough terrain, this bridge was built in the valley. The bridge cut 8 miles off the route. Due to an increase in railroad traffic and heavier locomotives, the bridge was dismantled in 1900. Men working 10-hour shifts completed the job in 105 days. The original iron bridge was repurposed with steel. The bridge was 300 feet high and 2,053 feet long. Railroad traffic declined by the 1950s and ceased in 1959. The park opened in 1970 and the viaduct was placed on the National Register of Historic Civil Engineering Landmarks. Train excursions were popular from 1987 to 2002. In early 2002, the DCNR engineers inspected the bridge and found it to be unsafe for rail excursions. Trains were banned from crossing the bridge that year. On July 21, 2003, an F1 tornado roared through the valley, knocking down 11 of the 20 towers. Today, visitors can walk to the end of the skywalk. A glass platform gives one a dizzying view of the valley below. For those brave enough to walk across the skywalk, they are treated to beautiful views of the valley. There is a viewing platform for those who are nervous about making the trek across the bridge. A trail leads hikers down to the bottom of the valley. Wear proper footwear since this trail is very steep. A small stream snakes through the valley. Do not climb on the ruins. I am going to post some pictures from my previous trip to the park in June 2017. Kinzu Bridge State Park should be on one's bucket list. Route 6 is a scenic highway that traverses the northern tier of PA. When I was little, I used to study the PA map. I called Route 6 the upstairs part of Pennsylvania. According to the Pennsylvania Wilds website, National Geographic agrees, calling PA Route 6 one of America's most scenic drives, and the Weather Channel picked Route 6 as its Pennsylvania choice for amazing road trips to take in every state. Small towns and interesting sights offers travelers a unique road trip experience. I drove through the towns of Mount Jewett, Smethport, and Port Allegheny before heading south on Route 155. Known as the hub of McKean County, Smethport is the county seat. The town is nestled in the mountains. In 1807, Dutch land investors founded the town of Smethport. The town's namesake was named after Dutch banking family, the De Smeths, who financed the land investments. Smethport has a mansion district. Here is a look at the business district of Smethport. Port Allegheny is to the east of Smethport. This town was originally known as Canoe Place. In 1838, the town's name was changed to Port Allegheny. Native Americans and early pioneers would stop to build or repair their canoes in this town. Port Allegheny is located 30 miles from the headwaters of the Allegheny River. From here, I headed south on Route 155 and drove through the mountains of north central PA. My route took me through the town of Austin, PA. This town was in the path of disaster in 1911 when Austin Dam failed. I didn't get a chance to explore the ruins of the dam on this trip. 78 people lost their lives as a result of the disaster. Austin was founded in 1856 by Edward Oramal Austin. After serving in the Civil War, he spent the rest of his life in this town. The town of Austin had peak production from its paper mill in 1908. A few years later, the dam failed and most of the town was swept away. I love driving through the mountains. If beautiful scenery and wildlife is your thing, then Sinnemahoning State Park is the place for you. This narrow state park consists of 1,910 acres in a rugged part of the state. It straddles the borders of Cameron and Potter counties. A state-of-the-art visitor center offers guests interactive displays and a chance to view wildlife. Here's an area where one can see an eagle. On this day, I did not see any eagles. The focal point of the park is the 145-acre reservoir created by the George B. Stevenson Dam. Outdoor activities include boating, fishing, hiking, picnicking, and camping. 40 Maplewood's day-use area is a great place to have a picnic, for it is nestled along the banks of Sinnemahoning Creek. An interpretive trail provides an educational experience for children. Here they have a chance to read a story and learn about nature. Just a short walk from the visitor center, the arch tree is a must-see when visiting. Native Americans would sometimes bend trees by using rocks or dirt or by tying them down. These trees were used as trail markers for the Native Americans. The trail you are looking at is the Lowlands Trail. This was a former section of the Philadelphia and Erie Railroad. I didn't have a chance to hike this trail because I wanted to get to my next destination, Seiserville State Park. Before we head off to Seiserville State Park, here is one last look of the reservoir. Seiserville State Park is surrounded by the Elk State Forest. The Elk State Forest is one of the largest blocks of forest in Pennsylvania. This beautiful park offers hiking, fishing, cross-country skiing, camping, and an accessible pool for swimming. Maximum depth of the pool is 5 feet deep. Refreshments can be purchased at the concession stand. I couldn't resist taking a dip in the pool. The water was warm, but the temperature was 74 degrees, a little chilly for swimming. I floated around on my inner tube and admired the scenery. After a brief but chilly swim, I warmed up quickly during my hike on the Nady Hollow Trail. A 1.5-mile loop, this trail ascends up the steep face of the mountain. Hikers should be in good physical condition before they navigate this trail. Elevation change is 1,900 feet. I was practically on all fours climbing the mountain. That is how steep it is. I enjoyed my hike through second growth forest and ferns. This trail is rated as most difficult. My body got a great cardio workout from this hike. I love descending down to the hollow. A mix of hardwood and evergreen trees sit in the valley. Cowley Run is the mountain stream that runs through the park. Areas with picnic tables are located along this babbling brook. One can fish for brook and brown trout. Seiserville State Park has a campground complete with a flower ring and bathhouse. Instead of roughing it, I opted to stay the night at the Creekside Inn. This here is such a peaceful scene. This quiet motel borders the park boundary. Built in the 1950s, the Creekside Inn is located 6 miles north of Emporium, PA. Motel amenities include air conditioning, free bikes, firewood, wireless internet, and a cell phone booster for reception is non-existent. The decor of the rooms are a hunting theme. Rustic furnishings match the wild setting in which the motel is located. Like the Kane Manor Inn, one has to use an old-fashioned key to access their room. I sat on the picnic table and ate my meatball sub. I slept very well in my cozy room. There is something about the mountain air that makes me very sleepy. The next morning I checked out and made my way home. I always feel sad when leaving the mountains behind. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button to my